Hello everyone, welcome back to Learning with Reese. This is our third video in the Python series. This video I'm going to start to introduce you to working with functions. Functions allow us to create little snippets of code that we can choose to not run at all in our program or run multiple times. So we're going to go and create a little program here. So I've just started up online GDB. I'm just going to have a little welcome message here. Welcome to our program. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and declare a function. To do that, I type in the letters DEF for define. And now I give my function a name. And most names work. Not everything. I don't believe you can start it with a number. And there's going to be a couple of other reserved words you can't use, but most things you can do it. So I'm just going to go and call this one right now function1. I do some brackets and then a colon. Now, it will automatically tab me over, or put in 4 spaces over. Anything that's moved 4 spaces over will be code that it is inside our function. So here, I'm just going to go and put in some code. I'm just going to say print inside function1. Great. Now I'll hit the backspace button to move it back, and then I'm going to put in some code print outside the function. And I'm going to run it. So I hit run. And I see my code right here, and it says, welcome to our program. And it prints outside the function. So it printed this line, prints this line. It did not print my function. The reason is, I never called my function. So if I want to go and print that code, what I have to do is type in the name of my function and put the brackets. So my function was called function1, so I do that. I hit run, and now I can see welcome to our program, outside the function, inside function1. If I want to do it twice, I can type in function1 over again. I hit run, shows it up twice. If I wanted to have the code appear earlier, so if I wanted to have it appear before outside the function, well, I would just do that up here. Hit run. And now I'll see I have a problem. It says main line 10 in module. So line 10 right here, it says function1. It's trying to call it, but I haven't defined my function yet. So in general, I always define my functions at the top and then put all the code underneath. So to fix this, I need to delete it, and then I'll put it right there. I have to put the calling of the function after I've declared my function. So now I run it. I see inside function1, outside the function, inside function1, which is exactly what happens here. Function1, print outside the function, and then I call inside the function again. Great, that works. Now, what if I wanted to actually pass something to my function? Well, I can do that. So when I define my function, and here I am going to go and bring in a number. So I'm going to go and call it num1. Now, if I do that, I have to pass a number to it. So every time I call my function, so if I hit run right now, it'll give me errors. And it'll say it is missing one required positional argument. It's looking for something to put in num1, but I haven't given it anything. So that means I have to send it a number. So I'm going to say 4, and for the second one I'll say 6. And inside here, I'm going to print out that number. This function was passed the number num1. I run it. I can see inside function1, this function was passed number 4, because that's what I sent to it. Then inside function1, this function was passed number 6. I passed number 6 to it. So it works. I'm able to send numbers to my function and have it do stuff with it. I could also send it text if I wanted to instead. So if I didn't want to send it a number, I could go and send it text. I'm just going to put in here text. and I'll send to it at first, hello, goodbye. And I'm just going to go and print my message. I'll print the text. Run it. And it says inside function 1 and then hello. Outside the function and inside function 1 and goodbye. So I can not only send it numbers, I can also go and send it text. So I have lots of different things I can go and do with my functions. Now, we might still be wondering, what's the purpose of functions? Why might we want to do this? Well, it allows us to break up our code into small areas of code that do kind of one task. And it also allows us, as we see, to go and call something over and over again. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go create a new program that's going to allow us to either add two numbers or subtract two numbers. So I'm just going to go delete my text right here. And I'll say, welcome to our simple calculator. This program allows us to either add or subtract two numbers. So now I'm going to ask and I'm going to bring in two numbers from the user. So num1 is equal to, I need to convert it into an integer, so a whole number. Input, please enter your first number. Num2 equals int input. Please enter your second number. Now, so I have two numbers. Now I'm going to ask them to make a choice. Do they want to add or subtract? And I can do it a couple different ways. I'm going to show you two different ways that we're going to do this. But before we do that, I'm going to go and create my functions. One for addition. So I'm going to go and call it addition. And I'm going to be bringing in two numbers. So I'm going to say num1, num2. In here, what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to add my two numbers together to get my total. So total is equal to my first number plus my second number. And then I'm going to go and output it, print. And I'm going to show what they typed in, so the first number. I'll show the plus symbol. I'll show the second number. I'll put in an equal symbol, and then I'll output the total. Now I'm going to go do the same thing, but instead of addition, I'm going to do subtraction. Subtraction. Once again, I'll bring in my two numbers. Total is equal to num1, subtract my second number, and then I output it. Print num1. I need to show the minus sign, show number 2, show the equal sign, and then show my total. Great. So there are my two functions. Now I have to decide, after the user enters in two numbers, I have to decide which function to call. And I'm going to do that based upon the choice that the user wants to make. So I'm going to ask the user to make a choice. Print. Please select, select which option to perform. I'm going to say that to add, pick the number 1. So please enter number 1 or 2 to select which option to perform. 1 is add, print 2 to subtract, and now I have to bring in the number. So I'm going to store it as something called choice, bringing in a number. Please enter your choice. So they're going to type in 1 or 2. Then based upon, if they type in 1, I'm going to call addition. They type 2, I'm going to go and call subtraction. So to do that, I need to use if statements. So I'm going to put in a declaration here. Decide which function to call. I also should have up here put in comments for each of my functions. So addition function brings in 2 numbers. This is my subtraction function. It also brings in 2 numbers. This is get user's choice of which function to call. That's what this code here is doing. So, decide which function to call. How am I going to do that? I'm going to use an if statement. So if choice, I want to see if it's equal to the number 1. To do that, I put in 2 equal signs. Not 1, but 2. We see up here, I have 1 equal sign. What does that mean? Well, that means I'm assigning whatever the user types in, and I place it into our variable called num1. Here I have another equal sign. What's happening? Well, here I'm typing in some text, and I'm going to assign it into my variable called num2. If I want to compare, see if there's equality, I use 2 equal signs. So I'm going to look to see if it's equal to number 1. If it is, what I want to do, I want to go and call my addition function, and I pass to it 2 numbers. So I pass to it num1, num2. Num1, num2. Now, we notice it was spaced over 4 spaces. To end my if statement, I hit the backspace, it goes back. Now I'm going to have an elif. I'm going to look to see if they typed in choice 2. And if they did, I'm going to go and call subtraction. And once again, I send to it 2 numbers. Lastly, they might not have typed 1 or 2. In that case, I have an else statement, and I'm just going to tell them, sorry, that was not a valid selection. So let's test out our program. I hit run. Oh, and I see I have a mistake. It says invalid syntax. Line number 10. So my problem that I have here, because it's telling me at line 10, is I go back here and I realize I did not define it as a function. I forgot DEF for definition. Same thing here. Definition for my function. Run it again. Errors cleared out. Please enter your first number. I'm going to have 6. Second number, 4. What do I want to do? Well, I want to go and add them together. So I choose choice 1, and it shows me 6 plus 4 equals 10. It works. Now, I just want to go and change my code right here. I forgot to put in my colon and my space. Make it look a little prettier. Run it again. Please enter your first number. 6 again, 4, and now I'm going to do choice number 2. Please enter your choice, and it shows 6 minus 4 equals 2. So I'm able to take the same input that I had and do something different. So this way, I didn't have to bring in the numbers, both numbers. For each, if I was doing subtraction or an addition, I only have to have this line of code once. It allows me to save it, or not do as much code. It also could allow me to, I could have just done both of them. Maybe I go and I do a choice here of print 3, both functions. Great. If I wanted to do that, I just have to go and put in a little elif here. Choice equals 3. What do I want to do? I want to do both. So I call both addition and subtraction. I run it. Type in my number 6 and 4. I want to do both. And it shows me both functions. So it allows me to use my code much more dynamically. I can call it in multiple different ways. I can use it how I want. So functions are really, really useful and important when we're writing code. Hopefully this helps you understand some of the basics of function, and I will see you in our next video. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.